Yes, people, how we doing, man? Welcome back to another Avengers stream, and technically the first Avengers stream of the season, as we are now in the new season, I guess. So it's a big moment, boys. Historic moment.
I missed that intro, man.
Yeah, it's a sick. Should we just run it again?
That's sick.
It's sick, isn't it? Welcome back, guys. Hopefully you're all doing well, man. Guys, make sure you drop a like on the stream. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as well if you're new. And make sure that you shave your balls with Manscaped products. You guys can get 20% off your order at manscaped.com. Use code XTRA20, XTRA20 at checkout, and you'll get that discount. Guys, treble winners, man. I feel like this is a bit of a delayed sort of thing, but how are we all feeling, man? You know what I mean? It's been a couple of weeks now since Martin. I'll come at you, bro. It's been a couple of weeks, man, since the chat. Have you recovered? Are you ready to do it all over again?
Well, you just said the first of the new season. I've not even got quite out of this one yet. No, I said it on my watch along, and my Manchester City journey's done. I can't eclipse that no more.
So you're retired?
From Lincoln to Istanbul, no one's done our journey. It is just...
Are you checking out at the top?
No, I'm still in it. I'm just... Well, I mean, we don't win another trophy. I'm sort of done with it. I'm like, yeah, I'll support City all my life, go to all the games, but if we don't win another trophy, I'll die a happy man. To do the treble... He's just, yeah, that was something. As a kid, I was just begging to beat Wrexham. Never mind do a treble. I was hoping to do a double over United. And now we've just won the 3 biggest trophies we can. That's just madness. That is a mad one. It's just, yeah, I've not even got over the parade yet. Not even got over that. I'm just
the parade, man. The parade is sick. Yeah, that was good. Jason, man, talk to me. How are you feeling? Are you still in last season, or have you entered the new season yet?
I'm somewhere in between, I'd say.
Reluctant. You're reluctant to move.
I just don't want to let it go. It's just been that much of a good season. I'm still just thinking about winning the Premier League. I've not even processed that we've won the FA Cup and we've won the Champions League yet. I'm still thinking we've won the Premier League. We've done 3 P's. It's brilliant, fantastic. Okay, bring on what's to come. It's just remarkable. I said on my watch long, albeit very late as I'd been away when we'd completed the treble. But I said it's a roller coaster ride. I said there's so many ups and downs. We don't really realise it now, but we're right at the top. Like there isn't anything else that can really eclipse where we have got to and what we have achieved. So I want it just to continue for as long as possible, because inevitably, I don't want to put a downer on things, but inevitably, at some point, it's going to dip and it's going to go back down. And I just want to be able to prolong what we've achieved. I've said it before, I'm going to say it again, that not enough from everybody has been made about what City have achieved. It's almost just like it's Man City, they've achieved it, we expected it, bring on next season, almost like it's robotic, but it's what we've achieved is quite remarkable. As Martin said, from Lincoln to Istanbul, no one has done it. It's remarkable. It's brilliant.
No, it is. Daps, anything to add on sort of last season?
No, not really. Do you know, have we done a show since the Champions League final?
No,
I didn't think we had. It's funny. It's funny what happens with us. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I was just on with Matisse a minute ago, and I said, you know what? It's funny because when the pre-season hits, this doing 3-4 shows a night because everyone wants a City fan on there to talk about us. All of a sudden, it goes quiet, and like I'm enjoying having a quiet summer, just doing my channel. No one wants to talk about City. They have little round tables. Everyone's having little round table chats about how they stop City next season and whatever else. The funniest one is now I'm hearing on a few shows, City are dropping off because they're letting loads of players go. I'm like, 1 player's left. I don't know where this narrative, we're letting loads of players go, is gone. We've 1 player is left. We're going and getting a centre-back that I honestly believe is going to, Diaz and Gvardiol, is going to menace this Premier League for the next 5 to 10 years. Like I think that tells you where we are. We're talking about how can we take this to the next level. The beauty is we've had our chairman come out and tell us he already knows what the objectives are next season. He already knows what he's planning for next season. So anyone that thinks this is City that drop off, it's not going to be City that drop off because our board, our owners, they won't allow it to. And the player, the manager, none of them will allow it to. Martin, what you said about kind of that's it, hanging your hat up. When we did the domestic treble, when we beat Watford, right, I said the same thing. I said, you know what? I never thought we could do this, right? And that was a domestic treble. I said, I never, ever dreamed that we would do this, And that season, if you remember, that was the season where us and Liverpool really went at it. I said, I'm knackered, I'm tired, I'm stressed, and I'm going to take a bit of a backseat and, I'll always be a fan, but then the minute August hits, it hits different instantly. And that's the truth.
I'll be straight.
The minute August hits, bro. I mean, look, when me and Steve were flying back from Istanbul, we said we were both looking forward to having kind of a quiet summer, not having to book flights here, there, and everywhere. And then that was on a Monday. By Thursday, we were booking Athens, and I was like, we're addicted to it. We're addicted to this. Like, I'm thinking, I want to save money. I've just had to go and spend more money to go and watch the Super Cup, and then someone's talking about this Club World Cup. I'm like, I can't do that, man. The amount of money that's going to cost to go to Saudi Arabia, right? But then you think about it, and you think, hold on a second. If we win the Super Cup, that's the last cup to say we've won everything. So I'm like, oh, for God's sake, man. But that is where it is now. We're literally looking at everything, going, we want everything. And that's where the owners are. Look, we already know the 4P. No one's done it yet, right? Pep will want to retain that Champions League. The Champions League the final is in England next year. So we already know where we're going with this. And the summer we're having already, there's no way. This board's objectives, we know what they are. You can tell by the signings straight away. You can tell what the objectives are. Just one other thing as well. Mason Mount, right, is a product of Chelsea's academy, right? I don't know if you lot have seen his goodbye speech, right? But that tells you how special our club is when you look at Gundogan's goodbye speech, yeah, and then you look at that, like the passion of Gundogan. That's what this club means to our players. Anyone that joins our club, they feel the way we feel about our club as well, because that speech there was just unbelievable. We haven't spoke about none of that. That everything good. You all saw it, right? The Gundogan thing, everything he said, unbelievable. Any tears? Any tears? Any goosebumps?
Little river, mate. Little river, bro.
Yeah.
I had tears at the end of when we won the Champions League. I just broke down.
Oh, well,
and it wasn't
half the down was honestly.
People said to me, "Oh, you don't care." It wasn't winning the Champions League. That was 40 years of just pure emotion coming out of me.
Yeah.
That was just everything of like, wow. I just couldn't believe it. And I just broke.
It was release,
wow,
bro.
Where's that come from?
It was release. I said this to somebody, and I think I saw Steve say it the other day. Winning the Premier League, like when people say now you've won both the Premier League and the Champions League, and as City fans, we've often been known to say we want, Premier League is our bread and butter. That's what we want. They said, now you've won both. How does it feel? And I said, you'll have to ask me when we win our second, because the first was relief. It was at last we have done it. All this pressure that everyone's put on us, more than we have. Let's be real. Other people were putting pressure on us to win that Champions League before we were putting pressure on ourselves to win that, right? And it was just, and I think even more so, I've never known a feeling like I felt that day. Even 10 minutes before the game, I sat in the ground, silent, looking down, and like everyone was going, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm trying to manifest how we win this game. Like it means so much to me." And at half time, I thought we're going to blow it again. The way we were playing with De Bruyne going off, I was thinking we're going to blow it again. And then it started coming into my head, a question someone had asked me, which was, if City don't do it, what next? And I was thinking, because everyone says you have to lose one to win one. No one says you have to lose two to win one, right? So I was thinking, God, yeah, does that start becoming a bit of a mental thing? And I was really, really, and when we won it, it was, we've done it. That was ultimately, if you could sum up, I think the way most of us felt was, we've done it. We've done it. That is, and now I think the thing to be excited about is the way we play in the Champions League next season without the pressure, because I think it's just going to be a different level.
No, I agree. Hugh, what's your thoughts, bro?
I don't really want to go on to next season. I'm really enjoying this like period of grace whereby no one can do anything to like knock our mood. No one can tell us anything to stop our mood. Like I was out there obviously in New York with the Big Six lads, and anything anybody said, I'd say treble, treble, treble. Any of you try chat to me, obviously Saeed could, but he wouldn't even remember that. I'm living in my adult years. I've traveled home and away this season watching City win a treble. So I'm just I'm not too pushed about moving on to next season. And I know Martin and Daps, you're older, so you can kind of more relate to that thing of, I'll hang up the hat now because I've done it all. But I just know as soon as the first ball is kicked in August, I'll be right back into it. I'll be right back into it. This exact same way I felt at the very start of last season. And the natural progression is you do always want more and you want to keep building on what you've achieved. But as it stands right now, I couldn't care less if we don't kick a ball again. I'm genuinely just loving this period of grace that we're in where, like I said,
we'll go and beat them.
Hey,
I want the 4-peat. Forget it and back.
Do you know what's next, man? People, the argument between other fans, Martin, the argument between other fans is, what's a better achievement, Invincibles, Centurions? Then Chelsea fans chime in with, well, we only conceded 15 goals in one season. I know we'll get on to Gvardiol, and Daps has just gassed it up, but the defense we're building, I'm telling you, that record, I'm not saying this season specifically, but it's there to be got. We're building the Great Wall of Manchester right now, man. You won't get past that easily.
So I was just going to say, I was just on with Matisse, and he was telling me, because I was saying something about basically how we're now drinking out of that trophy with big ears, and Matisse was telling me how in New York you had this thing where you had the car of the champions of Europe, and that Tobes and Turkish weren't allowed to get in a taxi with any of you lot. Like you lot, the people that have won this, and that's the mad thing. We're there now. We're there where we can go. Yeah, no one can tell us that chant that we heard. You'll never sing that. It's like, not us anymore.
That was funny. That
you know what it was? It was like Champions League winners just gravitated to one car. We didn't plan this. It wasn't something that we said for the vlog or even for the bit. This is what we'll do. When we got picked up at the airport, we had these two Sprinter vans picked us up. Two guys, they drove us around. Lovely guys. Big up Ziggy, and I forget his friend's name, but they both drove us around all week. And by complete chance, when we're getting up in the morning to get into these sprinter vans, the four of us, me, Matisse, Saeed, and Grizz, would just end up in the same van, and then Tobes and Turkish would just be in the other van, just by complete chance. So we're like, yeah, you're just the European losers over there, man. Whip out a big ears, and we might invite you into this car. We had spare seats in the car. They could have got in the car, but you had no access.
No access. Listen, I got a couple of super chats here. Big up to Edits, man. Says, yes, lads, who's ready for a septuple? Love from Northern Ireland. Big up Edits. And yeah, man, obviously it's on the cards, bro. Big up to Jerry as well. Says 50 years old. Not once have I ever shed a tear over a result until that final whistle in Istanbul. I was crying like a baby. I have no idea where it came from. Treble hit different, still buzzing. That's it, man. That's the emotion. Look, I want to sort of. You can stay in last season, but I want to turn the talk now to next season. Some of the signings that we've made, Kovacic. Talk about Gvardiol. Before we do, big up to the guys at Manscaped. You know what time it is, man.
85% of partners prefer a man who is groomed below the waist, and 96% of partners think bad grooming is a major turn-off. That's where Manscaped have come in to help us all out, including myself, lads. The Lawnmower 4.0 is a trimmer specifically designed with our crown jewels in mind. It has skin-safe technology to reduce those nicks and cuts and gives you the maximum confidence while trimming below the waist. It's also IPX7 waterproof rated, so you can operate in wet or dry conditions. It has a premium 7,000 RPM motor with quiet stroke technology and a massive 90-minute battery time, which is supported by its wireless electromagnetic charging function. With the Performance Package 4.0, you'll get the Crop Reviver with witch hazel and powerful odor defense. This keeps your balls protected after a good shave. Crop Preserver with its soothing aloe vera and advanced quick absorbing cream, keeping your balls feeling fresh and hydrated. And the Weed Whacker to trim ear and nose hair. The Performance Package 4.0 has everything you need to keep you the most groomed man in the room. Use our code XTRA20 XTRA20 at checkout and you'll save yourself 20% off your order and receive free international shipping.
Yes, guys. There you go, man. Go check out Manscaped. All the details in the description. We seem to have lost.
And then there was 4.
That threw me, that.
Am I on a different stream now?
He went for a shave, man. He went to use his Manscaped.
I thought he was going on his second honeymoon. I thought he was off again.
Yeah. No, we've got to
Divorce,
say,
get a second one.
Congratulations are in order.
Congratulations.
Jace.
Thank you. I mean, I got married last year. That was last year. That was last year's stuff. It's just my honeymoon. But thank you. Appreciate
We'll congratulate you from getting on a plane, bro. You know what I mean? Prices.
He's got rid of the England top. He's bought an Iceland one now.
Oh, mate, it got it on a good offer as well. It was only 35 quid and it's decent. It's top quality. We'll start doing it.
Yes.
Come on,
I love it. Absolutely love it.
Big up to Videodrome says, Martin, don't be dreaming of the Invincibles, mate. Let us keep some pride. Right, boys, I want to turn our attention. Let's talk about Kovacic, because obviously Gundogan's left. We all know about that. Everyone's had their say on that on their respective channels. So we don't need to go over that again. Let's talk about Kovacic. 29 years old, won it all. Won a lot of stuff. He's won 4 Champions Leagues in total, nearly 100 caps for Croatia, 100 games or so for Real Madrid, 100 games for Inter Milan, over 200 games for Chelsea. Jace, I'll come to you on this one, mate. Kovacic, £25 million plus £5 million in add-ons. You happy?
Bargain. Brilliant signing. Cracking signing. That's what I refer to what the bit of business United are set to go and do with bringing in Mason Mount. And I was thinking before we came live about our midfield, and we were getting linked with Mason Mount, albeit very briefly, and nothing was too solid with the information. But I was just thinking to myself, who's got the better deal here? Have City got one with a 29-year-old Kovacic, or have United got one with a younger Mason Mount with a bit of English Premier League tax put on there as well? And honestly, every time I'm answering the question, it's City's got themselves the best deal. We've got a Premier League proven central midfielder. He is a workhorse. He's versatile. We've got him on a really affordable deal. this deal to me makes sense from Manchester City, and it's such a shrewd bit of business done so discreetly, quietly, quickly. Gundogan leaves, and I'm heartbroken about that. But no sooner has he left that we've already got a brilliant replacement ready to come into our midfield that offers maybe a little bit of tenacity there. He's got a bit of crunch to him. He's a good tackler as well. He can play in the 6, can play in the 8, more advanced, more defensive. All round, just a solid signing from City. It's a really good bit of business, I think.
Daps, you were speaking before about the defence and that. Obviously, Jason touched on it there. Kovacic is probably, I think it's fair to say, a little bit more aggressive than Ilkay Gundogan. I mean, do you think him in the team could add a little bit more steel? And whilst we might lack some of Gundogan's maybe goals and maybe that cute touch that he has that maybe Kovacic doesn't have, maybe what Kovacic does have is that extra protection in midfield. What else do you think Kovacic could bring to us?
Well, the first thing I think that I've spoke about quite a lot is I've always noticed with City, if you go back to under Pellegrini and under Mancini, it was predominantly away from the English lot. We had a massive Spanish and Argentinian presence, which is Spanish speaking, and then under Pep, it slowly moved to Portuguese and Brazilian. Portuguese speaking, right? And this goes in line with exactly what Pep wants, that he wants harmony in the dressing room. He wants it to be more than just, teammates, more than just friends. It's a family. He wants them to stay there and have their lunch after training so that they become closer. Now, he wants everyone ultimately at the club to feel connected. And I'm sorry, but there is no coincidence that we happen to be bringing in Kovacic and he's going to follow on with another Croatian. So firstly, I think that is massive, that you've got Gvardiol coming and knowing someone straight away. I think that it won't be spoke about much, but I think Pep does these type of things on purpose. It's so that someone feels comfortable when they hit the City. As for him as a player, I've been a big fan of him for a long time. I actually went to see Chelsea. Who was it? Chelsea Villa last season, and Lukaku scored a goal. Now, the ball from Kovacic and the transition play from Kovacic was unbelievable. He picked the ball up just outside Chelsea's box with about 3 men behind him. He spun all 3 of them, and Ivor Needle passed through for Lukaku to run onto, right? And I just look at that. I actually went back and watched it the other day and thought, that is the type of thing that with Haaland would eat up. And it was the way he transitioned so quickly that it's just another. I said this last summer, what Pep was doing with some of the players he was buying is new tools to the toolbox, right? And this is another one that this is, all right, he isn't Gundogan, but you know what? When eventually De Bruyne goes, we're not going to get a De Bruyne replacement. Sometimes you can't get like-for-like replacements. You add different tools to the box. And this is another one. This is a player that I think he can progress the game very, very quickly, which maybe is something that we thought Calvin Phillips would do. But, Calvin Phillips is good with those long passes. I think Kovacic is bringing a different tool to the box. And also, you're right, he's maybe that little bit better defensively than Gundogan as well. So yeah, I'm happy with it. And the ultimate, it's the price. The price is just. I think Steve tweeted earlier. I think is it Trafford and Porro. That's funded Kovacic, right? And this is the thing that we get all this negative press about the way City spend money and whatever else, right? The amount of money I've also seen reported today that we think from last season we're going to earn about 700 million, from last season alone. And we're talking about one of our signings, and our signing's been paid off by business we've done off of 2 players that would never play for us. So it just shows how well run we are as a football club, and one day people will notice that. But yeah, great signing for me, and it was great the way it was done the minute Gundogan was dropped as well. Just to there you go, have another one.
Yeah, Martin, what do you reckon of this Kovacic signing?
Over the moon with it. I think it might even be the bargain of the season.
I think it's going to be between him and McAllister, isn't it?
Yeah. I look at Kovacic and I always think, I don't watch him a lot for Chelsea in the last 18 months. I think anyone at Chelsea for the last 18 months you shouldn't watch, because I think they're a basket case the last 18 months. But I watched him with Croatia. I think it was Spain. And the guy was just like, that's a box-to-box transitional midfielder, and you're like, wow, this guy can do it. Because I was a bit, I thought, not sure, again, because that was the Chelsea stuff. But for Croatia, he's like a different player. And it sounds like a thing, but I mean, you've got him for what? Gundogan money. 7 years on, you have got him for the same price you got Gundogan for. That's mad to think of. When you look at midfielders right now, the starting price is 80 million. Casado and all them. So you think how nobody's even looked at. I think it's going to be one of the most underrated signings in terms of why no one's looked at him. I think they've massively underrated him.
I think
It's going to prove pivotal.
The thing you can say on it as well is the how early it is, right? Is because let's just talk on it really quickly. Declan Rice. Now, Declan Rice came out that apparently we were interested in Declan Rice when it was confirmed that Gundogan is leaving. That is apparently that made City go, okay, now Gundogan's decided he's leaving. We'll go and get Declan Rice. But with Kovacic, the links were already there. Kovacic, I think, the minute Tuchel left, I think Kovacic down tools at Chelsea, didn't want to be there no more, wasn't happy with the way it was going, wanted a new challenge. This is similar to the way Pep was with Gundogan as well. Remember how Gundogan was Pep's first signing, and even he had an injury, and Pep said, just get it done. First signing, first one over the line. Same with this one. No one can say we've rushed out to get Kovacic because Gundogan or Bernardo have decided to go. Pep wanted Kovacic, yeah? And no one will speak on that. Kovacic was got before anyone left. That deal was in the makings before anyone's left. So this is a Pep signing. This isn't Pep going, right, we need someone to replace. So this is Pep saying, I want that man. And I think that's the thing that it won't be spoken about until maybe a couple of years' time when people going, he's probably perfect for what Pep wants. So
No, I agree. Here we're also getting Gvardiol, if you believe the development. Still a little bit of work to be done on the feet, it looks like, but if you think that this is going to get done. Thoughts on these two? Obviously, both Croatian. Gvardiol, obviously, very, very highly rated. Leipzig want to make him the most expensive defender ever. Everyone who watched him in Germany says he's meant to be like the next big thing. Aggressive, good on the ball, fast. Good signing, this, mate. Really could, again, really make our defense solid even more.
Yeah, I made it clear, and I got a bit of stick for it the other day on one of our streams, that I think the money is crazy, but I get it. I understand it. And I said the exact same thing to you about Jude Bellingham when we were trying to get him. I think the money to try and get those players was absolutely wild. It was thrown around, but you're not really paying for essentially what you're going to get right now. And even though what you're going to get right now with Gvardiol, it's pretty damn good because he's already at a pretty high level. But the reason the premium is so high on his head is because you're paying for what he's going to become. You can be quite certain with some players they're going to become in a category of their own. They're not just going to be a very good center half and a very stable center half or a Bellingham midfielder. They're going to go, if they're in the right place development-wise, the right players around them, the right manager, etc., they're going to hit that stratosphere that not many do. So Leipzig are covering their arses by making sure that we're letting go of this player that's going to become a top dog at your club. You're paying this cash for him. So with Gvardiol, absolutely buzzing. And I referenced the Great Wall of Manchester, I'm calling it now. And people are starting to pick up on it now as time has gone on and they're assessing this Man City treble winning team. We're no longer a small team. We're no longer wiry. We're no longer weak. Pep has almost entirely forgone the whole fullback idea. He's not too arsed about inverting fullbacks or bombing fullbacks up the line like a Zinchenko would have done or like a Cancelo would have done. He now wants essentially 4 technically astute monsters behind Rodri, behind Stones, whoever's there, who'll just say, you're not getting behind us. Now, of course, like I said, you have to be technically good to play for Pep Guardiola. But what I'm seeing and the development that we're undergoing, I like it a lot. I really like it a lot. The idea of a Kanji or Walker, Stones, Diaz, and Gvardiol, and you can throw Ake in there as well if needs be. I'm looking at that as opposition saying, how the hell do we break them down? What do we do? Do we go aerially? Do we try and match them for strength? Do we try to take them on technically? Do we prep? How do you combat that? And this is another example of Pep revolutionizing. Just when you think a Man City cycle has come to an end, Sane, Sterling, Aguero, that cycle came to an end, right? False 9 comes in. We won leagues with all of these. Brings in Haaland, wins leagues and Champions Leagues. The next generation, you're now seeing 4 monsters at the back. So, yeah, the Croatian thing, Gvardiol, I'm here for it. The money's mad, but I get it. With Kovacic, I think in this fire sale that Chelsea are opening up for everybody, we have done by far the best. We have absolutely done by far the best. I love the way Gvardiol spoke in his interview about how he wants to get even better. Pep's the man to do that. Get some goals, man, and you'll be right up to the best.
I think if you look at the defence that we used to have, like with Zinchenko, whoever it was in the middle, it's Stones, Otamendi, and Walker. Zinchenko, Delph, weak players in terms of, I know Delph went into tackles strong, but he's not a physically big guy, and Zinchenko wasn't either. I think a few years ago, Stones looked a little bit lightweight for me. Otamendi was here, there, everywhere. He didn't really know what he was doing. And then Walker was the only one who was really solid. You look now at this defence. Everyone, I mean, you met any of these 4 defenders or 5 with Gvardiol in an alleyway, you'd shit yourself, you'd turn around and you'd sprint the opposite direction. And this is what the teams are coming up against now. We have a defence who actually know how to defend and want to defend more than anything.
Do you know, I don't know whether it's. I've said a few times that, and I am kind of joking when I say it, but that I feel like Pep stumbled across something that made him realise, oh my God, we can become even better. And this is with the Stones playing in that role, right? That I honestly believe Stones or Rico Lewis coming in, but predominantly Stones coming in and playing alongside Rodri was that extra body in midfield, right? To overload the midfield. It's like, Gundogan summed it up when he said that Pep told him he wishes he had 11 midfielders because they see the game differently, right? But then by doing that and playing 3, can you lot all remember the night when we first played 4 centre-backs and everyone was tweeting, my God, we're playing 4 centre-backs. But off the back of that, it's like Pep's realised, you know what? Actually, being solid at the back makes winning even easier. Right. And now I've heard that he said, because next season he wants to stick with that 4 centre-backs, and whether it be 4 and 1 in front, that it means, and when you're looking at it, you probably say, who would you say our weakest player defensively is? Would you say John Stones? Would you say John Stones is our weak? That's how mad it is, right? That we're sat here, and the beauty is as well, what we're building is the age. You look, our DM is 26. Rodri 26, right? Diaz is what, 25?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Gvardiol, it's the age as well, and this is the beauty of it. That Pep this isn't something that Pep's building that we can have for 2 years. This is something that's gonna, like I said, Diaz and Gvardiol as our 2 main centre backs. That's 8 to 10 years. 8 to 10 years, and I think Huey said it's spot on. When people say, 100 million, is it a lot of money? Who are we to say what a lot of money is nowadays? Yeah, with some of the prices going around. Who the hell are we? Yaya Toure apparently was a lot of money, right? Kevin De Bruyne was a lot of money. All these players you hear are a lot of money. Jack Grealish was a lot of money. But now all of a sudden, no one's saying Jack Grealish was a lot of money anymore, because all of a sudden, and look at Gvardiol, look at his age. If we get 5 to 10 years out of this guy as the spine of our defence alongside Diaz, that's not a lot of money at all. That's and we're stopping any other Premier League team from getting him as well. That's the other key, that other Premier League teams will want him, and with that type of money, probably the only other league that would get him would be the Premier League. So we're stopping the likes of, if Liverpool don't come good this season and they need to replace Van Dijk, in a season or 2 they would go in for him. So we're stopping anyone else from getting that man as well. I wouldn't be. We're getting a defense remember Real Madrid in their prime with Pepe and Ramos, right? And how solid that was. In the Champions League, you need that. So yeah, I think
But we've got it across the whole line. This is why I think it's so special, and I'm waiting now to see which manager copies this and goes, you know what? We don't need a wing. We don't need a fullback who's bombing up and down the wing who ain't great at defend. Let's just put 4 defenders who actually know how to defend.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong. I think there will come games where we might struggle a little bit, you know what I mean, in terms of creating, because they've got 10 men behind the ball and maybe we're missing a little bit of width. You do get a little bit of leeway with that because John Stones steps into the middle, so you don't fully get roasted. But on the whole, the way that I'm sort of looking at it now, is I think Pep Guardiola, this is obviously very simple and he's definitely not doing this, but in my simple brain, I think Pep Guardiola's almost gone. I've got the best creative midfielder in the world in Kevin De Bruyne, right? I've got the best finisher in the world in Erling Haaland. Every game that them two play together, they're going to create 1 to 2 good chances per game. Therefore, if I just have a defence that doesn't concede goals, on the odds game, we're likely to win. And I think he's just going, you know what? I'm going to shut up shop defensively, No one's getting past us, and I'm gonna bank on the fact that I think Kevin De Bruyne, Phil Foden, Mahrez, Grealish will create 1 or 2 chances for Haaland, and he will score.
Yeah.
I think I think honestly that's just the way I'm looking at it, because defensively, who's getting past that 4, man?
Well, what did Pep say in the Champions? I mean, straight after we won the Champions League, Pep was talking about we enjoy defending now.
Well, Bernardo said it against Bayern Munich, Martin, and this is why I said after Bayern Munich, I said that we'd win the Champions League because Bernardo Silva came out after that game and said we now know that we can play without the ball, and that's something that we've never done. We've always gone toe to toe with people. We've always gone to places and gone, we'll take you on, and that don't work in the Champions League because
and we had that soft centre that you thought, and now we're like talked about it. I think 2 or 3 shows, people like Land of the Giants now.
Yeah,
like you said, you don't want to go in a dark alley with them. It's the huge, the massive. We've come away from this little tricky tinker team. We've turned into like Rodri 6 foot, Haaland 6 foot.
Martin, remember the Real Madrid game? Not the one just gone, the season before where we got knocked out in the last minute of the game. Remember the home game? You had Benzema's goal where he volleyed it into the corner. That was basically a cross which Zinchenko just didn't deal with. You had the cross which then Laporte handballed. You had the cross which Benzema headed in. 3 goals all came from crosses.
Yeah.
That year. And then last year we obviously moved to this sort of more solid defence. And look what happened. So
do you know what? Even if you look at the final, and this is where I honestly feel like the final was, in hindsight, the perfect final for us moving forward, right? Because we showed it. If people want to see a reel of beautiful football, people want to see, no problem. We got that all day long. You can go and look at Real Madrid in the semis. You can go and look at Bayern in the quarters. You can look at Leipzig in the last 16. You look at the whole group stages, right? We have highlight reels for days of playing beautiful football, but it's very fitting that our first Champions League, somehow the gods from above said, you know what, let's give City what they don't like playing against. Let's give them some frustrating, organised shit houses that can defend, right? But can also hit well on the counter, right? And that, for me, that was a battle. That was a battle. No one can say our whole Champions League this season, no one can say, oh, we got an easy route. No, we didn't, right? No one can say we got an easy final. No, we didn't. We had to go out there and earn it and defend like warriors, right? We did. Ederson, sorry, but, I've been told a million times defending Ederson, you will never win a Champions League with that man in your goal, right? He can play out from the back and do all of that, but you will never win a Champions League with that man in your goal. And if you look at the quarters, the semis, and the final, important saves from Ederson, that even we're just defending. It's like exactly like you said, all of a sudden we care more about defending. And the truth is, look, that's how we won our first Premier League under Mancini. Yeah, Mancini, it was having a solid defense to build on. And now it's like this shows, everyone can say whatever you say about how good Pep is, but Pep is still evolving. That's the maddest thing. However good Pep is, Pep's still evolving. And this season for me, Pep's appreciated the art of defending a bit more, and Pep's appreciated, even he's talking about it, and that's just worrying for I'm not even going to say for the Premier League, that's worrying for the whole of Europe, because we'll go again in Europe again next season, because defensively we can now. Defensively we can.
No, spot on. We got a super chat here actually. It's from Sven. It says Croatian here, went to school with Josko, and I know the guy. Our mentality is different gravy now. Diaz, Haaland, Rodri, and now Gvardiol being real leaders and always wanting to win. You are right about Kovacic, who will cook. Sven, are you the guy who was DMing me when the academy were playing Hadjic Split? You might be the same guy, bro, but I think he is the same guy, and this is legit. He did actually go to school with him. So
that's a proper flex.
Yeah, that's a flex, man. That's a flex. So yeah,
it's the way he followed it.
I
know this guy as well. It wasn't just I went to school with him. He followed it up with I know this guy. Yeah, it wasn't like he's 2 years above me. I know him.
Yeah. That's
the flex I've got is my daughter went to school with James Trafford. It's not right. I don't know. I've never met James Trafford. My daughter knows. The flex I've got.
My flex is I know Martin.
Mad. Bernardo Silva, guys. This for me now. Oh, come on, Martin. Martin, if you're gonna, what's going on, man?
When you mention the name Bernardo Silva, it makes me do that now. Sorry.
I don't even know how you get everyone back. Oh no, he's had a nightmare. There we go.
Oh, there he is.
Come on, Martin. So, why did you do that? Why did you put your head in your hand straight away? What's up, man?
I feel like I'm on Groundhog Day.
Got to talk to us, man.
Six windows. We're having the same conversations.
The
I
therapy
feel like
session.
we're going down this road of it. Listen. I love Bernardo. I just want it sorted once and for all. He's staying or he's going. Decision time. You're 2 years left. You're at the stage because if you get to January, you're at 18 months. At the moment, the club have the power. The longer this goes and the shorter that contract gets, he starts getting the power then. And I don't like that.
Yeah, but are you asked about it, bro? Because people, because you see, I don't give a fuck. People are saying to me, yeah, but LB, you know what I mean? He's going to run his contract down and leave on a free in 2 years, right? And we bought him for what, 50
can't
million?
let everyone out for free.
Why not after the amount he's done for this club? I'd
Exactly.
let him go on.
Bro, he's been here for what? He'll be here for like, 6-7 years. Yeah, we bought him for 50 million. He's done all this. If he goes in 2 years for a free transfer, who cares, isn't it?
He deserves it, to be frank, like everyone else. He's
No,
earned it. As an asset, he's earned it as well.
I'm just one of them of it's got to be deciding time for me.
But you know what you say,
deciding time. No one wants to buy him, bro. This is the problem.
This is the key.
Exactly. We're having that problem with a lot of them. Same with Laporte and Cancelo. No bugger wants them, so we can't shift them out.
So with Bernardo, I'm with LB, right? Look, because what we've seen is the beauty of it. If it's a player that wants to leave and now it's becoming a problem him not leaving, then I'd be with you. But the key with Bernardo is that, like you said, 6 transfer windows, but his performances are not dipping. He's not one of these players that, and to me, honestly, I keep saying this, it comes across to me that he's happy where he is. He's happy to stay. His missus isn't, right? So every year that he gets to stay a bit longer, he's getting to say to his missus, look, I'm trying, but no one's coming in for an offer. And then he's like, yes, I get to have another year with the boys, right? Ultimately, because he's still putting those performances in. He's still happy. He's still being put in bins by players. But no one's offering on him. What I would be doing right now, and I said this last summer, I never understood why we were not linked with De Jong last summer. Because if Barcelona wanted him last summer, and if Barcelona want Laporte and Cancelo, then if I'm Man City, I am, because that would soften the blow for me. Bernardo's done everything. He's won us a treble. He's done the 3P. He's done everything for us. If he wants to go, I'll drive him to the airport, to be frank with you, and say, thank you for everything you've done. But De Jong coming the other way would really, really not only soften the blow, but it would make it beautiful because we know the Rags want him. So let's go and get him for me. If I'm City, I'm opening up serious conversations with Barcelona and I'm saying, right, let's get this De Jong deal done. We apparently have 3 players that you want. Let's talk and let's soften the blow a bit because
on that, there's not a lot of room. We've already got 25-man squad virtually.
Now, if Bernardo goes, there's room for De Jong.
Yeah, I think it's on. This is what I mean. To me, Bernardo's the key to our bringing in another midfielder.
Yeah.
For me.
Well, for me, I think, Martin, if Bernardo Silva leaves, I think we need a winger and a midfielder.
I agree.
See, I personally, I want to see Alvarez on that right, like David Villa.
Yeah, you're obsessed with that though, bro.
No, I know I am, but because I'm obsessed with that Barca team with David Villa on the right, and I loved it.
David Villa played on the right. He played as centre forward, didn't he?
No, David Villa was on the wide of the front.
Was it?
Because where he was a centre forward.
I don't remember him being on the right hand side.
No, because at the end of the day, for me, I'm just looking at the Alvarez conundrum because Haaland played over 3,000 minutes last year, which nobody thought he was going to do.
Yeah.
The problem is, what you say to Alvarez again, your bit part again, mate, for 2 years, sit on the bench again. You've got to get him in somehow. And we've tried him in that KDB role. I don't think he's got the strength and the tenacity to do that. I think he's too easily jumps off the ball. So I think that's where I'm thinking that could be a long-term future. Because he can, for me, I think he can play anywhere across.
I think you're trying to fit the peg in the wrong hole, bro. Honestly, I think you are.
The problem is we're not. I don't think they'll get De Jong. I don't even think it's come out today. Apparently, there was an inquiry, but Barca were asking stupid. So City went back. Declan Rice, obviously, with Wars. Kimmich ain't available. Casido's gone. McAllister's gone. It's like, where'd you go?
Would you take Valverde?
That young lad.
Would you take Valverde? Because apparently he's the source is pretty shit, but apparently he's available for 90 million euros. I think he's very similar to Bernardo.
I read somewhere Madrid ain't letting him go nowhere.
Well, but like I said, the sauce is pretty ass, but like he's probably
cheap cafes ketchup.
I don't. You may disagree, but I think the major problem we're having at the minute, it seems, is we're struggling to get some out.
Who?
Like no one's coming for Laporte at the minute.
Yeah.
Oh, when there is, he's going. No,
the port will go, bro. Because
he wants to go to Spain. Problem is, Albert, there's no money in Spain. Seville have got their whole squad up for sale because they're in the. Yeah.
Someone will sign him, bro. Because City will let him go for like 30, 35 million.
And no one wants Cancelo.
He'll be loaned out.
Would you not contemplate selling both Cancelo and Laporte to other Premier League teams? We'll be able to get more money for them.
Yeah, but I don't know if they want to go to any of them.
Hasn't Laporte turned down?
Laporte turned his nose right up. Listen, when Laporte had Tottenham after him, he did a runner. He wasn't interested remotely.
The only teams that you'd probably sell Laporte to is probably Arsenal, maybe Liverpool, and I ain't selling Laporte to either teams.
They can have Cancelo all day long.
Yeah, I'd probably fuck with him with Cancelo just because I just think he'd do more damage in the long term.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
but yeah, I hear what you're saying. You are right in what you're saying, Jace. But I probably wouldn't do it, man. I reckon Laporte will be sold for 30, 35 million, and Cancelo will be loaned.
Where do you reckon Laporte will end up?
Well, the rumours that Juventus might be interested in him.
I just think when you're comparing and contrasting the sales of all these players, the club aren't going to view them all as the same kind of asset. I think they're going to view Bernardo Silva as a much more valuable asset in terms of impact he has on the pitch, as well as financially he's going to be worth a lot more than Laporte and Cancelo. So they'll find ways to ship off Laporte and Cancelo. It's not going to be hard to find a home for players that are that good. But with Bernardo Silva, it's a lot different. It's a lot different. Like I read a report today, I think it's onto the Extra, saying Pep is doing everything he can to keep Bernardo Silva at Manchester City. He's doing everything he can to convince Bernardo this is where you need to stay. I don't see him doing that for Laporte, and you can be damn sure he's not doing that for Cancelo. Yeah. So they're going to be completely different. Like for me, I'm with Martin. Normally, if a player doesn't want to be here, let him go. But as a fan, I want Bernardo to stay. I want him to stay. Yeah. He's too good. He's too good for us to just let go because someone's coming with 50 million.
Oh, not 50 million. I'm with you. Listen, Bernardo Silva is my favourite City player, like hands down. Like I love him, right? But at the same time, I am with Martin where it's kind of like now at a point if he is going to go. But I will be clear, it has to be for the right money, and I think that's what City have been saying from the start. Come in and someone come and negotiate with us. I think that's even why on the Saudi thing. But in the meantime, until that is done, Pep's going to keep trying to convince him because look, we're having a conversation about where do we go. Like, if Bernardo leaves, who do we have to replace him? And Pep's probably looking at this going, yeah, where do we go? Like, I've heard very good things about that. Is it Celta Vigo player?
Vega. No, he's not coming.
He's going to PSG, I read somewhere.
He's going to PSG.
Okay, well,
that's another one off.
And this is the thing that I think...
See name in a hat and let's go. Just pick a name out.
But I think Pep is looking at this and he's looking at the potentials and that's why more and more he's probably trying to convince Gundogan because look, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Gundogan isn't old yet. Bernardo Silva, he's not old.
You re-signed him.
Breaking news. Now, Bernardo's not old. Well, I didn't know that other guy's going PSG, is he?
Yeah, bro, if City wanted him, they would have done it. It's a release clause.
Yeah, I thought that. Apparently, someone said we've been tracking him for 6 months. City don't hang around 6 months.
Not with the release clause. Not with the release clause, no.
He's probably about 8th down the list somewhere. And
yeah,
that's all even me. I love Bernardo. Don't get me wrong, I love him. I'm looking at it from the club point of view, and I get everyone, I'm with it. I sing his song. I love him. And he'll give his all on the pitch. But it's like, I feel like our transfers are all on him. If that makes sense.
They are.
They
You
are,
can't-
though.
You in or you out, and we can't decide where we go.
But Martin,
Which is why I said a deadline. I told him I'd have a deadline for him. I'd say, yo, listen, this is the fee, and this is the fee that we'd accept. And if that fee comes in, you can go. But ultimately, we can't accept a bid with a week to go of the transfer. So this is the deadline. Bring me a fee by this day. If not, you're staying. Simple. And by the way, if you stay, the contract's still there if you want to sign an extension, but you can't leave after this date because we need to be making sure that we're not messing around at the end of the window.
yeah. And can I just say, if we were to look at this, yeah, we could probably throw pretty much every single name out there in world football, but we'll say De Jong, we'll say Rice, we'll say Kimmich, we'll say that Vega. All of them, you can sign any of them, or you could keep Bernardo Silva for another 2 years. Which one are you having?
Yeah, easy, mate.
Bernardo.
So ultimately, that's why everything is resting on Bernardo. Because if we get to keep Bernardo, problem solved.
We
Problem
don't
solved.
need to go into the
Bringing
market.
Gvardiol.
We don't need to go into the market if we keep Bernardo Silva. For me, keeping Bernardo Silva, if we got some sort of like statement from someone like Bernardo himself saying, you know what, I'm staying, I'm not going, I'm not fucking leaving. That's like a new signing for me. I'm like, yes, get in.
Yeah,
we have a
spot on.
settled, happy, and comfortable Bernardo Silva. We wouldn't need to. It's pretty much like the squad doesn't need that much tampering with. But lose Bernardo Silva, then you're opening up quite a big kettle of fish because you're trying to replace essentially two players in one. But keep him. We're chilling, man.
That's what it is. With Bernardo goes like LB said, you got to go and get two to bring it in, and you're like, well, yeah, and that's what I mean. So I do think it's going to be a bit quiet now until people, we make decisions on where we go. Oh, someone does.
I agree. Big up to, we're going to wrap up now, just get some super chats. Big up to the Professional Idiot. It says our club also decided to build an atmosphere to make the Etihad a fortress. And big up to HSK dropping a big $100 donation. Man says, off topic, guys, but did we forget about her madness and his ITKs? He needs to pay up. He does need to pay up, bro. He does. I've also got another one here from Obeid. Said he'll gift 1,000 subs if City signs Sane. So yeah, that's a bit of a madness. But listen, I'm gonna wrap it up now. I know a couple of boys have got shows to go, so I appreciate you guys coming on. Hugh, obviously HMTV, City Extra, Daps on Never a Foul, Martin Mancunian Way, and Jason from JSGC. Big up. Daps is now going to do a stream, guys, on Never a Foul. So this stream's got a redirect. So if you fancy going watching Daps, what are you talking about, Daps?
We do evening shows at 10 o'clock every night. It's some sort of debate with rivals. I don't really know what it is tonight, but it will be a debate. They always get heated.
It's going in cold.
Yeah. Well, but
do.
Huey summed it up that this is how it feels. This is how it feels to be City. This is how it feels to be small. That we're sat here. No one can make us do anything but smile. And I sit on streams now. Look, I get rattled so easily. I sit on streams just laughing now. Like, we're City. We've won the treble. And the maddest thing is, by the way, we've been speaking about the treble. We don't even talk about the fact that we've done a three-peat as well. That's how big we are.
All beat Man United in the first ever FA Cup derby final.
There we go. It's all the stuff we've done. And then we go back to January.
I really rub it into all my mates. United fans. I'm not letting them forget it. They're still walking down with the little hats on, the bucket hats.
Yeah, it's mad. Listen, I'm going to wrap it up. Big up everyone in the stream. Make sure you drop a like on the stream. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to all the boys' channels as well. Big up to HSK for that big $100 dono. Stay where you are. The stream will pop up in the chat to say go over to Never a Foul. And
Appreciate
guys, we'll catch you in the next one. See you later.
85% of partners prefer a man who is groomed below the waist, and 96% of partners think bad grooming is a major turn-off. That's where Manscaped have come in to help us all out, including myself, lads. The Lawnmower 4.0 is a trimmer specifically designed with our crown jewels in mind. It has skin-safe technology to reduce those nicks and cuts and gives you the maximum confidence while trimming below the waist. It's also IPX7 waterproof rated, so you can operate in wet or dry conditions. It has a premium 7,000 RPM motor motor with quiet stroke technology, and a massive 90-minute battery time which is supported by its wireless electromagnetic charging function. With the Performance Package 4.0 you'll get the Crop Reviver with Witch Hazel and powerful odor defense. This keeps your balls protected after a good shave. Crop Preserver with its soothing aloe vera and advanced quick absorbing cream, keeping your balls feeling fresh and hydrated. And the Weed Whacker to trim ear and nose hair. The Performance Package 4.0 is everything you need to keep you the most groomed man in the room. Use our code XTRA20 XTRA20 at checkout and you'll save yourself 20% off your order and receive free international shipping.